Julian from JulianTechTM. Today I have a very interesting and exciting guest. He is a remarkable individual in the tech world. He is the man behind Aftershock PC, Marcus Wee.
Nice to meet you guys. Hi everyone.
So what we're going to get into today is like how you started out Aftershock and also a new venture that you're going into, which is Techyard. And also I want to learn some stuff from you. I think there's a lot of wisdom that you can give and what it takes to be successful.
That's what everybody asks, but yeah.
So let's start with 2012. You sold laptops. Why?
My initial interest was laptops because I was a competitive gamer. So I played on a semi-professional team for StarCraft and Warcraft and various other strategy games. So I had some success. Because I studied in a boarding school, I didn't have the luxury of using a desktop because I was traveling back and forth, Singapore, Australia. Because of the fact that I had to use a laptop all the time, because I could take it to school and back, I really liked laptops because I just liked the idea of mobility. That's changed now. I prefer using a desktop these days. To me, the appeal of it was back then was laptops. And the reason why we started to do laptops is because I was trying to shop for a laptop when I was in university. When I came back to Singapore, I was having a hard time understanding why the prices in Singapore were so different from the US prices. So you watch a YouTube review of like a laptop that costs like $1,800 US. Then you look at the same spec in Singapore or similar laptop and it'd be 3,008 or something. So it was absolutely insane. They had different prices for different regions.
Same spec or exact same laptop?
No, literally exact. Okay, even if you were to look at the same laptop, it could be $1,000 more in Singapore. Or up, maybe $1,500 even.
Right.
So they had different prices for different regions. Yeah. And I really wanted to know why. So when I applied for exchange program in Canada, so I stayed there for about maybe like 4 months. When I was over there, I decided to place a laptop order from one of the custom laptop companies over there. The experience was really, really good. The price was also really, really insane. Like it was like I could get a laptop with a high tier graphics card compared to the same money would get me an entry-level gaming laptop in Singapore. I was just wondering why no one did it here. What I realized was that the pricing was completely based on region. I mean, I can sort of understand why they had it that way. Because for a big market, there's volume, there's scale, everything. So in a smaller market like Singapore, where there's a smaller place with less population, less potential buyers, because if you compare to something like the US, like 300 million people or whatnot, they have scale. I guess that's why they price it higher here. But to me back then, I found it nuts lah. That's where the idea hatched to start doing research, join the enthusiast community, start to find out more about how these laptops are built, and then I visited the main factory they made for all the big brands. So a lot of people...
And this is before you started Aftershock?
Yeah, so that's before I started Aftershock. No, actually what happened was that at first we wanted to be a laptop reseller. So we wanted to be like a laptop specialist because I really was passionate.
Like any brands like Dell or...
That plus the custom gaming laptop. So the custom ones were not really in Singapore. There were people doing it, but they were doing it like sort of like we'll take the order for you, we'll place the order, we'll bring it in. But we wanted to do it properly with the customization services. And because most of these factories had MOQ, so it's very interesting in the laptop industry because people always say, oh, it's OEM, oh, that's branded. But actually, a few OEMs make for most of the brands.
Right.
So there's a few really big, the tech industry, not just laptops, the tech industry is like that. It has gravitated towards that over the years. And it was really a bit like that back then. So we wanted to initially become a laptop specialist company. That was my interest. Yeah. But then when we contacted when we contacted the factory, essentially they said you can't meet our MOQ. So you can't make your own brand, to do your own brand. Right. Like there's a minimum order quantity.
Yeah. Basically, it's quantity, right?
Yeah. You need a certain amount of money to buy a certain amount of stock before they allow you to brand it yourself or whatnot. So they sort of like if you call and you say I want 10 pieces or whatnot, they'll just refer you to one of their other sellers and say get it from them. So at first we thought that might be the ideal way, but then we realized that it's like you're not really building a brand that way, and you don't really get to really control the customer service level. So when you build your own brand, the advantage and why Aftershock got so popular at the start was because we got to control the quality of the customer service, and we really tried to make sure it was good. And so that's where I decided just take a dive into the deep end, and the Computex was going on. So Computex is like this big tech show in Taiwan every year.
And this was in 2012.
Yeah. 2011 at the time. So before you started. Yeah, so in the Computex is this huge tech show where all the factories, they go there, they set up booths, and people from all around the world, distributors, business owners, they fly down there and they visit the booths and they look for products that they could potentially work with the factory or create a brand, or maybe bring an existing brand into a country or whatnot. So we went to look for the ODM's booth. So the ODM that builds the laptops for all the big brands. So we went to look for that booth. We sat in the booth and we were like, oh, we can't meet the MOQ, but we sat down and presented the business plan and said, you know, we try to show them that we know a lot about this industry. We understand the consumers that we will be serving, and we understand how we can get an edge in the business by offering better services, a more aggressive package, how we're going to streamline it. And they sort of liked our plan, so they gave us an opportunity to work without having to hit the MOQ. Like, they let us buy smaller quantities.
And this was like your own money. You flew there yourself.
So I had a combination of some savings, plus I had some help from family.
Right.
It was really tight at the time.
Yeah, I would imagine.
We were very limited to work with, and it was pretty scary as well because we got our first batch of stock. We opened in a small shop house in Serangoon. Yeah. We didn't have the luxury of they really had the control. And basically, we had to really reach out to the community. We had to be active on the forums. Then we got our first customer 3 weeks in. It took a while, and we had to really go roll out the red carpet, make sure they had an amazing experience. And the customer was very happy. He wrote about us, and then more people came, and it slowly grew from there. We made sure every single one. So it was really picture perfect at the beginning. We really tried to make sure everyone had a good experience.
But it sounded super scary.
It was
to not know whether the business would succeed.
But that's every business.
Yeah, you have to go to Taiwan, not knowing. Or not,
It was a shot in the dark.
Yeah, so you actually had a plan.
So I mean, the plan is to hope that they accept my presentation To hope that they're okay with it.
So you had a plan, and then you were like, we're gonna meet these people, tell them our plan, and hope they will accept it. That was the plan?
I mean, yeah, sort of. You hope you can convince them that,
right?
Because we have the fallback plan, which is we try to focus on growing a reseller company first, and we try to focus on being an expert in that field because that's where our domain knowledge is.
Right.
We were very, very, very familiar with doing modifications, tearing apart the laptop.
I think the thing that I'm amazed is that you didn't limit yourself when they told you you need a certain amount of quantity. You just go, let's go.
Just give it a shot, you don't know if you see face to face, maybe they will see your passion. Maybe they will see that you want to really, you're different. Hopefully they'll see you as different from the regular guy because these people you need to remember they meet people all the time,
right?
At these events, and most of their clients are just most business people. I would say a proportion of business people are very passionate about what they do. A proportion of people are more they see it as just business. So it's this one is just they're making it living. For us, we really see it as passion. I did multiple businesses after that, and the one that I always come back to is Aftershock. Even though some of the other businesses were actually more successful. And that's the reason is because we simply love the PC industry. We love what we're doing. We love the team. And we also love the users that have supported us. So how can we keep doing better? How do we make sure that the company stands the test of time and continues to deliver a good experience to people that have supported us?
When do you start custom PC builds?
So the custom PC aspect of the business, I think came in around the 3-year mark. We love laptops, but we realized that there was only a certain amount of control we had for laptops. Because if you have ODM, right? This is an ODM laptop factory. They build laptops for all the biggest brands around the world.
Right.
But every brand has a different opinion on the roadmap. Every country has different trends. Every country has different opinions on what is important to them. Like for example, one country might prefer a more muted style on the laptop, right? They might prefer a laptop look minimalist, clean. They want to use it in the office, they want to use it at home. Another country may want RGBs all over it. Yeah. In that case, generally what the factories tend to do is they tend to lean towards the countries with the biggest volume.
Right.
Sometimes we couldn't get things the way we wanted, whereas we knew that we want in the desktop market, not only could we create really exciting products, we could also control a lot more, the kind of innovation that we could have with the products. We could control what kind of things we could do, like what we did, Ultralabs and whatnot. So that's why we decided that we must do desktops.
So Ultralabs, you talk about Ultralabs.
Yeah.
This is the custom PC beyond custom PC. I always see that way.
Yeah. So Ultralabs is something unique to Aftershock. It's something that our competitors definitely have a hard time replicating because we really invested to bring in craftsmen to do more than just building a PC. So if people want to create something, they have a dream, they want to do a cyberpunk PC, a cyberpunk theme PC, or they want to do a PC theme to a specific game or food that they like, it's possible to do it.
Yeah.
And this involves things that are not typically a part of PC building, like fabricating, or 3D printing parts of the
Because
PC.
for me, I feel like, as a PC builder myself, I don't really need your services. But when you come out with Ultralabs with like printing service that are super sharp, I'm like, oh, hey, there's something that I might go for.
That's why we call it above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because our aim is to make sure the company has a suite and an offering of products that a regular PC builder can't do. That's where Aftershock stands out. We want to make sure that we have not just good products, quality components, and very aggressive price points, but also services and feature sets that are very hard to replicate.
I kind of know how these Ultralabs come to be, but you want to explain to the audience how it came to be.
So Ultralabs was actually, the idea came about actually from our Australia office, because they have a huge enthusiast community over there. So we have offices in Malaysia, Australia, Singapore. So they were very passionate about modding. A lot of them, like some of the team members, built PCs for the Computex, like the crazy ones you see. And with the idea was like, how can you make this something that anyone can ask for? So that's how Ultralabs was born.
Because I remember you showed me a few pictures and videos on how like Australia does their custom PCs.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
So they're very advanced in the way, because there's a very strong passion in the team. So now we have a lot of team members in Singapore that have gotten into it, very passionate. So we started the department here, and we had the teams exchange ideas and meet each other.
Can you name some of the stuff that they do?
So they do, for Singapore, they do quite a number of things already. They're doing like UV printing, 3D printing. They're doing like acrylic cutting to fabricate parts of the PC that you want to make some custom bits in. They're doing laser as well. And then on top of that, they're also doing open loop water cooling. And there's just a whole bunch of things and a lot of things in the pipeline. There's a few things that they have yet to pick up, like spray painting and all that, like automotive spray painting.
So that's Australia.
They're doing it already because you need a clean room.
Right.
So it's not so easy to just have a clean room here. Like you need a location, you need a permit.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. At least from what I know. Yeah.
You need a permit?
As in, you can't just open a spray room anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
At least from what I remember when we looked at it last time.
So why do you think Australia is more, in a way, advanced in this area?
It's not about advanced or not advanced. Like, I think Singapore, our Singapore team has many things that we are really good at. But I would say that DIY culture, not a computer thing, but DIY culture is a big thing over there. My partner over there is a childhood friend.
Yeah.
They have a home. Their home is it's literally a farm. Yeah. And when they need to build a house there, they buy the house kit and they build the house themselves. So,
DIY house.
Yeah, so they literally DIY the house. The attitude and the passion towards DIY.
Yeah. I would think to them is like, it's fun. It's fun to do.
It's like we asked the team to set up a spray room. Like, so in a lot of times if you see car spray rooms in Singapore or whatnot, what they do is they literally buy the box. Like the box where it's like the ventilation, it's got dust thing. So what they did when we brought up the idea of a clean room was they got a hammer and wood and they built the clean room by hand.
Wow.
So this stuff won't easily be domain knowledge for everyone, but you have some people who are really passionate about DIY. And it just so happens that the hands-on culture is very big. So that's what we're trying to do. We have been having our Singapore team learn, experience exchange programs, and to really hope that passion comes out. And we have a new team lead in Singapore for Ultralabs, and he is even more skilled than some of the guys.
That's what I think. I think it's not about passion, like Singapore less passionate than Australia. I think it's more about culture,
it's
like
overall
space.
Culture.
And space is a big thing because I love this kind of thing, but I don't have space to have
So exactly. So in a place where space is abundant, people have the time to pursue this sort of hobbies, which means there's a huge DIY. It's just like how countries where space is abundant have a lot of hardware stores.
Yeah.
Right, DIY hardware stores. Whereas you don't quite see them everywhere in Singapore. Because Singapore is a place where everybody's sort of like very busy all the time. I was very surprised because we go to PC shows in Singapore. When we went to PC show in Australia, in Singapore you might get a booth contractor to build your booth. Yeah. In Australia, generally all the people build themselves. So it's like that's the norm.
Oh, I do have a question. Starting a business, how important is it to have a degree?
I think my take on this is SMU was useful for me. I wouldn't say it was because of the degree. Success in business is not to do with your education, but rather to do with, first of all, your drive, your passion, and also your innate capability in that field. Like, how are you a domain knowledge expert in that field that you're trying to do? Like, if you're going to start an F&B that specializes in a specific dish, you better be good at that. Particularly, you better know what defines a good version of a dish, right? At the very least. A lot of things you have to pick up along the way. So personal aptitude will come into it. Like your ability to pick up how to handle people.
Yeah.
Your ability to your ability to be proactive.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And a lot of that is not education related. But definitely, like for me, the experience of going through a competitive educational environment, it's useful in the sense that, for example, you have to do a lot of presentations or this, and it helped me a lot in my public speaking and my ability to speak. So, meeting suppliers, meeting partners, I found that very useful. But if you ask me, I've seen success from any kind of education. Like, I don't think there's any correlation between entrepreneurship. And in fact, most of the entrepreneurs I know have started very young. They may not even go to university, and they just pushed through and did their business because they had a dream and they wanted to pursue it. I think the defining factor for the ones that are successful and the ones that are not is a lot of the successful ones are really, really, really hungry and driven.
Yeah.
They have like a never say die attitude.
What are the core philosophy or values of Aftershock that you think really made your team succeed?
The thing about Aftershock is that what we try to do is we always just try to do right by the users. Like, we're not, by no means are we perfect. Like, any company, as you get bigger and bigger, there'll be times where you make mistakes. And I think it's more about how we recover from the mistakes, how we make sure that if we do make a mistake, like we take ownership of it, like whenever we can. Like, it has to be fair, of course. I think one of the good things that comes out of that is that a lot of the team members, they see that we have this sort of very like straightforward way of doing things, where we sort of have a value system, like a clear value system. And if we have good people, they're very inspired by that. We wouldn't have grown to this size if we didn't have a very like straightforward, easy to deal with, transparent kind of approach to the business, and making sure that we take care of users. Any business, as you scale, right? As you go from like the 5-man business to the 10, to the 50, to the 100, you're going to face hiccups. It's like if you want to do a business, and if your dream is to run your business about your passion, you are definitely, as you scale up, as you get people in, you're definitely going to run into challenges. It's more about how you handle it and how you make sure you triumph over it.
Can you name like or give an example of a struggle that you had and how you overcome it, and the mindset to overcome such struggles?
In what kind of struggle?
That's the thing, right? There's so many kinds of struggles you can have. What do you think is a good struggle that people
we had a fair bit of struggle, like just understanding like when we went for a small team, like where a small team is very tight, it's like your squad of 10 people, everybody's super passionate,
So this was like 2015, 2016?
No, 2013, 2014, right?
Okay.
Then you go to suddenly to 50 people.
Yeah.
It's different already. You cannot operate the same way. You have to make sure that things are clearly defined, so that people don't feel like the expectation is just, I expect you to go out of your way for everything. No, it shouldn't be. You need structure. So the transition was definitely a learning experience, because we're new, right? Nobody comes into business knowing how to manage 50, 100 people. You go through it.
So how do you do it? How do you learn? Or what do you learn? Like, how do you adapt to?
As in, we said, I learned the hard way lah, which is that we realized we had to realize that the policy didn't work. We had people that were like feedbacking that not happy with this, not happy with that. And we had to say, we had to listen to them and be like, okay, we need to change this or change that. Sit down together as a team and talk about how we're going to overcome challenges or things that they dislike.
It's like the first time you realize employee is not giving 110%, is it?
It's not really that. It's more like in a smaller organization, you're able to reward and credit everybody for everything. But then when you're bigger, right, the people that are going all out may feel like they are not being noticed, and that's not a good thing in any company. An organization's job is to make sure that people who are performing, people who are contributing, are recognized. Right? Don't you think that if an organization doesn't recognize good performance, or if it doesn't recognize contributions, why would people be motivated to contribute more?
Right. Here's a question. Is there a difference between managing millennials and Gen Z?
So far, I mean, it depends on which department lah.
I mean, you're closest to the marketing.
Marketing
right?
Our marketing team is very young.
Yeah.
And I would say our operations team is a bit older. I would say it's different. To me, I've always been impressed with like the creativity for young people, because most of the younger people are like digital native.
Yeah.
So when it comes to working with all the more modern marketing tools or social media or just being on camera, they're very comfortable.
Right.
We have people choose the scope they want to do. A lot of times, people they may apply as a builder, then they end up in the marketing team, like you see. The guys, like, we allow people to move around to where they be happiest. To some extent, as long as their skill set fits it.
Right.
But what we see is that a lot of our younger staff, they gravitate towards the marketing team and whatnot, or more extroverted. And the more introverted team members might gravitate towards the building or repair team because they kind of want to just be at the desk.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's an age thing, though. One of the differences happens to be that I think people these days, they look for a lot more sense of fulfillment.
If you have limited amount of money now in this time, what business will you start that would have the greatest probability of success?
I have always wanted to do something F&B related, but not traditional F&B. So I think F&B is probably one of the most difficult lines of business, but that's because most people dream of like, a cafe, and then there's a lot of complexity, a lot of items on the menu. There's the goods of competition, right? The goods are perishable. It's just difficult. I would always have loved to work on a business that was selling like a very streamlined product lineup, like maybe 3 items on the menu, but it was something that I loved.
What would it be?
Deep dish pizza. I couldn't find a really good one in Singapore.
Right.
That I really liked. I found there is a pretty good one near Alexandra area, but like I felt that it was a dish that most people don't know the difference between deep dish pizza, like a regular pan pizza, or thin crust.
Right.
So deep dish was something that I quite enjoy. And like I said, like a lot of the ideas in my head weren't about which will be the most successful,
right?
But more ideas that I could be passionate about.
It seems like when you start a business, it's more passion driven than.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, for me, now because we have been doing this for quite a while. I mean, obviously, what would be more appealing is passion-driven businesses, because yes, you want to make a living and everything, but if you could look forward to coming to work every day, it'd be great, right? Like with Aftershock, like I said, it wasn't the most largest of our companies, but it's definitely the one we love the most.
Yeah.
Like it's not an easy industry, but we stick at it and we keep trying to innovate and try and do better.
Yeah.
And that's because we love it, we love the team, and we love what it represents.
PC industry.
You've got to be on top of it.
It's always evolving.
So we always try to look forward ahead. Not to sound like we're on a high horse, but AS is really on top of it when it comes. I think AS is really on top of it when it comes to trends. So we are very quick to move to what we think offers users the best value. We're very quick to look ahead and we try to look at what's coming down the roadmap and think, okay, this is going to be really great. Like this is going to offer a performance advantage for the same cost, or maybe even less. People are going to get more, and we try to pivot fast. So we move the trends quick.
Do you like check it daily, like
yes, yes, on top of it.
And I think that's why Aftershock is so successful, is because there's Marcus that constantly checks every day.
We're absolutely obsessive. Yeah. So like if a new drive is coming, like for example, there's a Gen 5 PCIe drive, we're going to quickly, even before it's out, get the samples. We're going to evaluate whether it makes sense, whether it offers any real world performance benefit. If there's a new CPU coming out, like recently there was a 7500F.
Yeah.
Like AS was the first. And we checked it out. We were like, okay, look at this price. Check the performance and the frame rate for the price, and it was like really good. And you're just like, okay, it just makes complete sense. Like if you're looking for a mid-range PC, the 7500F is a monster.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, we're gonna go this. We're gonna try to make sure the supply chain is okay. We can get enough of them, and then we're gonna build PCs using this chip.
Yeah, I need to explain to people like how crazy this is, because when I do my content for PCs, right, I just have to research that day. And then I'm like, okay, this is the most valuable PC. But for you, you have to legit do everything.
We need to understand everything. We need to understand not just the product. We need to understand the value of the product. We need to understand how much supply they can actually make.
Yeah, a lot more.
We need to make sure that the supply chain is stable. We need to make sure that the brand so we use all branded parts. Yeah. We need to make sure that the brand offers good coverage. That means if like if you have a motherboard that dies, right?
Yeah.
What we want user to experience is that they come to us and we just replace them. Right. So the brand, the partner itself has to take responsibility.
Right.
And it's down to Aftershock to hold brands accountable. Not say hold brands, that sounds kind of harsh, right? But it's down to us to make sure we set the standard that, hey, if something goes wrong, you need to make sure that the customer doesn't experience inconvenience. You need to make sure that we have the parts so that we can just make sure that we solve it on the back end while they get a part replacement. So there's a huge amount of dimensions to look into. Like, it's not just about which product's good. The product could be really good, but maybe they have no supply.
Yeah.
Right? We need to make sure that we get the best of what's available, and to make sure that our deals and our combos are really high quality and really sharp.
Okay, let's talk about your new venture. Techyard.
So we recently started Techyard. Techyard is a new marketplace for tech, all things tech, like PC parts, all this. So, I mean, we looked at Singapore market. Singapore market is it's still very traditional. So people go to shops. I mean, and they use a PDF file and circle, or they tell them. And there's also Lazada and Shopee, which are great, but then they sell everything, right? Like we are on those platforms and we think they're great as well. But we just wanted to create a platform where it was specifically focused on PC tech.
So what sets Techyard apart from Lazada, Shopee, or Sim?
Well, exactly what I just said, that it was super focused on PC tech. So like if you're shopping on Techyard and you're searching for, let's say, a CPU, you're going to find one listing. Let's say I search for Ryzen 5, right? Or Intel i5.
Right.
You're going to 12400F or 5600. You're going to find one listing for it, not 30. And that listing is going to contain information about who the supplier is, where it's from, how long the warranty is.
Right.
So you know where it's sourced. And on top of that, you're going to have reviews from free. So we contacted all the big online reviewers to attach their reviews, as well as a market opinion from our team, just an opinion.
Yeah.
So we're trying to give full context on the product you're looking on, and we're trying to make sure the prices are very competitive. So it's like a really PC specialized, and it can track all your warranty. And we're going to try to work with various brands to really offer attractive deals on Techyard. There's a lot in the roadmap in the pipeline for it.
The goal is to be a one-stop website to buy every component.
Hopefully
right?
not just a website, eventually a physical space as well.
Physical space.
Yeah, and very experiential. So we want people to learn about the products. We want people to make educated buying decisions. So it's more like, instead of saying sell, or pushing this, pushing that,
Right.
we want people to like go there, look at the product, read about it, watch the educational material, and then they can make the decision. Like from our POV, our job is just to offer a very educational experience, and we believe that people will enjoy that experience, and eventually they will find it a great place to get tech. I mean, there's all kinds of ways in which businesses move product, and this is just our way. We see there's a long-term way of, and like you give a good experience, and eventually people are going to shop there. As long as the experience is good, the information is transparent, and the deals are good. The stuff we have in the roadmap is going to be pretty interesting. Like you're going to be able to click on a category of, for example, you want to build white PC. Yeah. You can click one category, you see all the white PC parts.
Oh, that would be cool.
Like you're looking to game at 1440p. You can click to see all the 1440p gaming graphics. We want to build some really cool features that would really help users to be educated about what they are looking for.
Yeah, basically you're helping the users not need to do their own research. They can just come to one site for research.
Yes, right? And we also want to curate. So like if you go to a typical mega store, there would be a lot of brands. And sometimes a brand may have a lot of products, and some products would honestly, I don't mean it in a bad way, but some products in a brand's catalog might be obsolete.
Right.
It might be nonsensical just because they have the same brand has another product that's just so much better. We want to try to curate so that we list all the things that we think make sense.
And it sounds like you need a full-time person.
We already do.
Right.
Yeah, we already have
to just like keep researching and like, okay, so this is not good, obsolete, let's go and change this.
Yeah, so we wanted to find a couple of full-time people that were passionate about tech to do this with us. So we have found a team, and we are growing the team.
Nice. What's your take on work-life balance?
I think work-life balance is super important. My take on this has changed over the years.
Okay.
So for our company, we generally try, unless it's a super busy period, we generally try to make sure that our working hours are very strictly followed. Trying to go harder doesn't make sense because people just get exhausted.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's better. Yeah.
That is for your employees. How about yourself?
I don't have any work-life balance. But that's okay. That's by choice, right? That's by choice. Like, so I have a few the management team members, the leads, that are really passionate and they're here all the time with me. And that's really enjoyable because it's just like, for example, you play Dota. You have a squad, right? Don't like, if you have a squad of 5 people and like 3 guys are like super passionate about ladder climbing, they want to chong, and then you have 2 guys that are like, I just chill, relax, have fun.
Right.
It's going to be hard to drive, right? Like for me, I have management. I'm very fortunate to have a team of management who are very passionate, who want to see the company go to where we visualize it, the end game is. And for myself, it's just I just work basically. I just work. I play some games. Sometimes I make time for games. Like I've been cutting out 4 hours every week to raid on Saturday nights with some friends. But for me, almost every waking hour has been work. But I don't see it as work, you see. Like, I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy creating nice builds and then seeing people love those builds.
Yeah, outside of tech, outside of Aftershock, anything that interests you? Any topics?
I mean, there's not a lot. I'm a hardcore otaku.
Otaku, what's otaku?
As in, I don't know if otaku is the right word actually. And I scrapped that. I'm a huge fan of manga. Manga. In general, I prefer the manga format over anime.
Oh yeah?
So I read, I don't just read the mainstream stuff, I read hundreds of different series. So I love manga in general.
So educate me, what is a good Manga.
It depends on the genre you like. For me, I mean, it's changed over time. As you get older, your preference for a genre changes.
Right. So I never read manga, but I like Demon Slayer.
So, oh man, I can't comment. I would have done a lot of sting, man. I mean, I think Demon Slayer. If you probably watched the animation, right?
Yeah.
So if you read the book, you might feel differently. Like I did both, and I think it's decent. I think it's a decent show, especially in the animation, because the animation quality is
a lot of people.
The music, the choreography.
Yeah, a lot of people say that the anime is actually better than the manga because of the.
It's because of the standard of the animation.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, like I prefer animated shows with more nuanced characters. So like if you ask me, like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, he's like a perfect character.
Yeah.
There's nothing to improve.
Correct.
Like he's kind, he's powerful, he's talented.
Yeah.
Like where's his growth? Where does he have room to grow? Like if you look at Attack on Titan, the characters like Eren or whatnot, they're kind of flawed, and there's a lot of development. Like my favorite character from Attack on Titan was definitely Reiner, because Reiner had a huge amount of character development. Right. Like as he realized what he was doing, and he realized it wasn't like what he was experiencing wasn't actually what they were told. So I enjoyed Attack on Titan a lot. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is really good as well. And there were a lot of series that were lesser known that are now being animated that I think are really solid in terms of character development. Like Villain Saga. That's the one. So Villain Saga was something I followed from a long time ago. Recently they animated it. I think it's amazing. So Villain Saga is about the story of a young Viking child who basically his father was murdered, and he followed the man who murdered his father. It was like a mercenary leader.
Right.
And a story of revenge lah. But it sort of develops from revenge into him understanding the value of human life and completely changing, deciding that he will never kill another person again. He wanted to create a land of peace. And that character development was really, really awesome. And when they animated it, it was great as well lah.
Okay, so now we go to the last part. Okay, so I want to know your mindset about helping the community. Like the thing is like you help me. We're just friends.
I'm a big fan of helping people that I know.
Yeah.
And my mindset has changed also a little bit. Like I was from the esports scene, like competitive gamer. So I really wanted to do esports. Didn't mind helping various people that I ran into along the time. So my thought process is the same as with money. When we help people, you don't expect anything. And when they do something back for you, you'll be pleasantly surprised and you'll feel happy, which is good enough.
Yeah.
I think that if you just do good things, add value to people around you, good things will come to you eventually. That's just my belief. So it's not so premeditated to keep thinking about what you're going to get in return. It's actually not a good habit. It's probably pretty unhealthy to do that. As you always get disappointed if that's your mindset. That's what I think. So like if you ask me about community stuff like related to like esports or whatnot, is I think that we need to do more for like community activities in terms of like the casual community. Because I used to think that we need more esports events, but there's a lot of esports events, and you see they come and they're big. But do they help like our esports community to grow? One thing I really miss, maybe it's still there, I just haven't had time for it. But one thing I really miss was when I was younger. I go to a Warcraft 3 tournament, for example, and you get to know everyone.
I don't think that's alive anymore.
Yeah, you get to know everyone. You get to know everybody from the community. You get to know people from the scene. You get to make friends. You get to know people from all the other teams. There's some rivalries and whatnot, but that was awesome. And I kind of wish there was more of that in today. Like, we used to have a WoW guild when WoW first came out.
Right.
And the guild would like play every night. And then Tuesday night is maintenance night.
What's maintenance night?
So the night, the Blizzard does server maintenance. So the server cuts out. So we will all go to Kopitiam, Ang Mo Kio.
Right.
And we will sit down there and we have a guild meeting.
Honestly, I thought maintenance night was like you all maintain your PCs or something.
Guild maintenance night. The maintenance night is just the night the server goes down. So the server goes down, everybody goes out. It was awesome. Yeah. Like I really enjoyed that aspect. So I would love to see more of that. Like if I had the means for it, I thought about building a community space before. Like, but if I had the time and the means and the capacity, I would love to contribute that way.
I just want to speak with my experience when he said he don't expect anything. You gave me this office space for a year. You have not asked for anything. Really never asked for anything. And to the point I go, hey, like, ask me to do something. I don't mind. The thing is, I think it's also good because if let's say you tell me to do something and then people will think my content is biased, I thought it would harm you if I asked you to do things. And because for a reviewer like yourself,
neutrality is very important. So that's why we made a point, like I told you, I won't ask you to do brand stuff. And there'll be stuff where we do interesting stuff like a tour, that kind of thing. That's okay because it's not like touting a brand. But my view on it is very straightforward. When you do something for somebody, and you've probably seen other people that we have helped along the way. If you expect something in return, you're always going to be disappointed. But you just help people because it's like it wasn't too difficult and it wasn't like I had to stretch out my way to I'm gonna die to do it. So if you just do good to the people that you meet and that you like, it's definitely going to come back one day, right? It's like going to be on good terms, and one day you never know. It might be the flip side of the coin where I'm in need of help, and I run into a friend who I've helped in the past, and maybe they won't help me, maybe they will, but I mean, who knows? You just do good. Like you just want to be a positive impact on people in your life, right?
The thing is, right, when I make content for Aftershock, because I'm so scared that people think I'm biased, that I will say good things. That I think I'm the opposite, that I criticize Aftershock actually more. But the thing is, I always try to explain to my viewers, like let's talk about the like comics and all this convention, because for me, I go with the facts. I ask my audience what price range you want me to showcase, and then they'll be like, okay, usually it's the $1,000 range. Then I'll put the $1,000 range. I take all the pamphlets, and I put side by side. So Aftershock is the cheapest, and then people go, because you got the office. I mean, and the thing is, I always say, then you go to the convention and check yourself. Like if y'all are the best, then you're the best. I don't know how to do, you know.
But the reality is that I think it's just human nature. When they see that we've offered you office space, that people might think that there must be some bias involved. But you know, the irony of it is that most of the time I didn't see some of this stuff, like because we're friends, and I just like like, you do your thing. Like,
and when I do, I don't like, hey Marcus, I do for you. I just do, and then sometimes you see.
Sometimes I might see it, sometimes I won't. But the gist is that like my view on that is just like it's very important that you maintain your neutrality. I think I said it to you at the very beginning. So it's fine. Like to me, if you succeed and become and manage to build your channel up and everything, I'm happy for you. And I mean, who doesn't want to see their friends succeed? And my view is just maybe one day we could do a cool collab. Yeah, that's about it. Like, we didn't get a lot of time now, but yeah. Soon.
Yeah. I think even when I'm not in this office, we can do a lot of stuff as well.
Definitely.
I think that is it for the questions. Do you have anything to add?
Well, I just want to. I mean, not a lot, but I just want to say that for those of you watching, that like our users, our supporters, I just want to say thank you for all the support that's been given to us. If we wouldn't be where we were today if not for like our supporters and fans lah.
I also want to thank Marcus for borrowing me this office space. It's been super helpful. The thing is, this office space taught me a lot, like how to manage people, how to manage space, and you can see it's packed. But at least now I know. Then I thank you a lot for it.
No, I appreciate that, and I mean, I enjoyed having you around. At least I can bounce ideas off you. That was nice. Like if there's a new idea, what do you think of it?
Yeah.
And it's good to have multiple opinions lah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Marcus. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a long video, but I hope it's insightful. I think I learned a lot also, and I'm not sure. Hope you enjoy. I'm done.